all right, y'all. I love fighting and shit, right? And I took a very unusual course to becoming a professional fighter. I didn't really have a whole lot of money growing up in even my early 20s. I had kids young, and me and my mother lived together. I helped her out. My dad had dementia, and so I didn't have a whole lot of money. So I trained myself mostly. I'd go to USA Stars Judo Academy when they were in Norman and Moore, Oklahoma. At their other locations, there are more now, but they had several locations. And I would train there until they asked for dues, right? And then they let me train for a little while because they had some Olympians and they needed somebody to throw around. And they said, "Hey, man, you're one of the MMA guys, right?" And I'm like, "Yep." Like, "Come here real quick." And they're like, "You don't really pay your dues, do you?" I'm like, eh. And they're like, "No, we're not dogging you. If you can help our judo guys out here, no problem, you can train." And so they let me train for a while. They threw me probably 1,000 times. And I didn't know about tighty whities, about your balls clapping. If you all don't know, let me tell you, Olympians can throw you and make your balls clap. My shoulders were so sore, but I did that for a while, and then I left, and life happens, right? I had kids, and my dad had dementia and shit, and came back after I met Dr. Ron Tripp, and he said, "Hey, come train with us." I said, "He said, where are you training? Train back here. Come train with us." So I trained with him a little bit. So I trained a little bit at USA Stars over the years, but I'm mostly self-trained, and so when you do that, how do you get fights, right? So I didn't know. So I came up through Tough Man, and I followed them all around Oklahoma, and I came in second in Oklahoma City once. Well, technically it was third. I was going in for second, and they was coming to get me, and I was just sitting there. Like, "Hey, man, what day is it?" I'm like, "Friday." And like, "Nope, he's done." So the guy that I beat got to go in and fight because I had a concussion. But let's be honest, that second was my spot, right? I won at least second. So second Oklahoma City, I went to Tulsa, Lawton, I'm not really a boxer, but that's the only chance I had. And then, so I'm waiting tables and doing whatever I can to support my family, help my mom, help my dad. He has dementia, shit, and I meet Rod Webb, the Webb boys. It's Rod, and man, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to these guys. His brother down in Sulphur, Oklahoma. Great guys, bad dudes. They used to have a Team Caveman, a Caveman crew, something like that down there at Sulphur. Spent so long, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Those guys gave me my chance. I was waiting tables. This kid had a big medal, big grin on his face. But the big table came in. They said, "Hey, Jay, these guys are wrestlers. You want to take them?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And of course, I'm trying to get tips and shit, right? So I'm like, "Hey, man, you want? Oh, yeah, state champ." But that's amazing. I'm a wrestler too. Not like that though. I never did like that. And like, would we hurt you? I'm like, well, I'm a fighter. I do, I do jiu-jitsu and stuff. And I was training with Aaron at the time. And I was like, I do jiu-jitsu. I do tough man. I wrestle. But no, man, I'll never get a shot. And he said, "Hey, man, I got a bad motherfucker." And he's like, "You want to fight him?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll fight anybody, And so I took the fight. Man, I'm Piccolo. Shit, I was blanking on Piccolo's name there for a minute. Brian Piccolo. Now listen, I'm not talking no shit. They told me he's a bad motherfucker. What they didn't tell me was he was a 2-time NCAA All-American. He was a Big Ten champ, fucking judo black belt, 3-time firefighter, cop games, 3 champion judo, jiu-jitsu, and wrestling. They left that part out. They was a judo alternate. They left that part out. And I thought I was 205. Like, I had been on scales, like I said, self-trained. In my head, I was 205, right? I was a bad motherfucker. But when I go to fight Brian, I'm actually like 180. And Oklahoma MMA was in its infancy back then, 2006-ish. You can look me up, Jason Anderson MMA. And so the commission's like, "Oh, no." And I'm like, no. They told me he's a bad motherfucker. They told me he was big. And they made me sign, the promoter made me sign a paper. And then the box commission made me sign a paper. So after that, I go out there. I got my Muay Thai trunks on. I've been working my striking. And I'm ready to go out there and bang. Brian sees my Muay Thai trunks. He's like, "Absolutely not." He comes, shoots. I'm on the ground. I thought I had an ankle lock. I thought I had a knee bar, but I couldn't straighten him out. He's pounding me for a while. I'm like, I'm not getting out of here. So before I got hurt, I tapped out. And I was grateful for that. I knew he was a badass. But, that's how we got started. And then I fought 3 more times the next month. Just bang, 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 kept fighting. So, not talking no shit, but, that's how I got my start. But, man, I kind of got sidetracked because it's actually about hormones, right? So a lot of you guys want to talk about hormones, and I did too, especially back then. I felt like a lot of my opponents were on hormones. I'm a strong guy. I'm a big guy. I was really lean back then. I mean, really fucking lean. You can look at pictures of me back then. I was 8-9% body fat, and these guys were just manhandling me. And I was like, fuck. And so I was like, man, steroids. And I wasn't wrong. I was right, you know. But, you know, when I very first started my career, I wasn't a great guy either. I was doing coke and taking painkillers and taking diuretics to make weight. And I thought that was just fine, right? Like, I'm not cheating, but those steroid guys are cheating. You know what I mean? And as I've gotten older, I realized that some people, not everybody, and definitely not a lot of those young cats, but some people really need hormone replacement therapy. Some people really need this shit, you know. But even the cheaters, you know, a lot of these guys, you know, and I'm not dogging, but a lot of you guys like to smoke weed, probably, you know, hit a line or two, take painkillers and shit, and then talk shit on the guys on hormones. It's all PEDs, guys, even weed. And I don't even really think weed's a drug. But I voted for medical marijuana because I believe it helps you sleep, helps take anxiety away, which does what? It helps you recover, you know. So how can you think street drugs are okay and hormones aren't, you know? But yeah, man, that's just my little rant.